This is a theory that talks about Bowser and King Boo from the Mario series. Bowser is a crazy villain. Some of his deaths at the end of Mario games are pretty brutal. For example, in Super Mario Galaxy 1, when he falls into a star and then stranded on it an explode planet that turns into a black hole. King Boo's role in the Mario series at first glance doesn't seem to be anything significant. He only appeared in a few Mario games, and aside from the Luigi's Mansion series, his role in the game he does appear is minor. You may think that Bowser and King Boo have nothing related to each other. However, they're both play in the major role together in the Mario series, which keeps the series alive. While this is never explained directly, there are a few games in the Mario series which gives hints about the truth of Bowser and King Boo. First off, the Super Mario World. Super Mario World is the first game in the Mario series which evidence for the theory can be seen. King Boo was really around as early as Super Mario Bros. 3 days, in which Boo first appeared. It's just never appeared in game. Have you realized how occasionally that there were a ghost house level in Super Mario World? Those houses is where Boos live peacefully in their afterlife. Then came Mario, who stormed into these houses and wreaked havoc numerous times throughout the event of the game, often with malicious intent, of course. The Boos knew they had to stop this, so they reported Mario's actions to King Boo. Of course, King Boo was furious about this, so he started tracking down Mario. Similar levels of havoc would continue in the future Mario games, thus beginning the Boos and the King Boo's hatred towards Mario that continue to this day. Paper Mario is the second Mario game that provides evidence for this theory. The main attention in this game for the theory goes to Bowser, but King Boo deserves to be mentioned as well. This is because Mario had actually allied with the Boos in World 3 of this game, and so may think that this would change King Boo's mood about Mario. However, if you think about it more like this, you'll see that in the brief alliances wasn't nearly enough to make up to Mario's past aggressions. First, he only allied to the one ghost house, compared to the several he disrupted in the past games. Second, the alliance was forced, because they wouldn't give him the Star Spirit until he helped solve their problem. All in all, what Mario did in Paper Mario wasn't enough to stop King Boo's hatred towards him. Bowser plays a much bigger role in the theory in Paper Mario. The end of the game is where it gets particularly interesting. This starts with the scene where Mario, Bowser, and Kammy Koopa are on the platform way up in the clouds that is about to explode. Mario is seen escaping with the help of the Star Spirits. Bowser, on the other hand, isn't so lucky. Explosions can be both seen and heard without him or Kammy Koopa escaping. While Bowser's death before this game was at least understandable on how he survived, there is no explanation on how Bowser can survive being stranded on an exploding platform thousands of feet in the sky. No matter how tough or resilient he was being in the past, Mario fell from that same height at the very beginning of the game, and even he got killed, though he was fortunately revived by the Star Spirits. In fact, proof about Bowser's death may be hinted in-game. At the very end of the game, when you must walk to Peach's castle to trigger the ending scene, go to the center part in town. In front of Merlin's house would be a sign which is called the Toad Town News. After mentioning about how Mario defeated Bowser and how Peach and her castle are safe, it also mentions this. Bowser was badly beaten and will never likely return. We're sure of it. Almost positive. After saying the obvious of how Bowser was badly beaten, it also states that how confident they are about the Bowser won't return. This connection that could be made with a series of events strongly suggested that Bowser had suffered such a brutal beating that he had finally been killed. But wait, if Bowser's dead, then why is he still alive as the main villain in the Mario series today? This is because the theory still expands to the Mario game released after Paper Mario, Luigi's Mansion. In Luigi's Mansion is perhaps the most important and significant game to this theory. You all know what happened in the start of the game. Luigi goes to a mansion that he won in a contest, only to find out that it was made much darker than advertised, and needs to find out where Mario is, who went in the mansion before him. This game features King Boo's first in-game appearance. He appeared after Luigi opened a trap door and a bunch of boos and King Boo fly out of it. About midway through the game, you see King Boo in a fancier room with Mario inside the painting, struggling to get out. This is the first sign that King Boo is up to something sinister with Mario. But soon after, perhaps a more crucial event in relation to the theory occurs in Area 3. Do you remember the fortune-telling ghost, also known as Madame Clairvoyant? You know that kind of ghost that tells Luigi to bring Mario dropping objects so that he can see what happened to Mario? Well, once you give her the last object, after she tells the orb to show them all and what can be done with Mario, she will say this. What is this? Bowser? How can this be? I've seen a hideous form of Bowser. Is Bowser somehow in the mansion? I cannot believe it, and yet I see it. I thought Mario had soundly defeated him. Has King Boo somehow revived Bowser? This could be horrible. Well, for you. While she confirms that Bowser still exists, she doesn't understand why considering Mario soundly defeated Bowser. Remember though, that Paper Mario was in the Mario game before Luigi's Mansion, and how the Toad in That Town news sign in Paper Mario also thought that Bowser wouldn't return. Also recall Bowser's brutal defeat at the end of Paper Mario. You see where the connection is? Also note the part where she mentions how King Boo could have revived Bowser. This will be important later on. Another connection can be made with Luigi's opening to the door of King Boo's room. Before the final battle begins, King Boo talks to Mario painting and at one point says this interesting line. I remember how much trouble you've caused me in the past. This doesn't make any sense at first, considering this is King Boo's first appearance in the Mario series. But remember what I said earlier about how Mario kept on going into the ghost's house in Super Mario World? That and the other confrontations with Boo is what King Boo meant by the trouble. King Boo then turns the Mario painting into a Bowser painting, then goes inside the painting and sucks Luigi in. You will then fight the final boss of the rooftop of the mansion, Bowser with King Boo controlling him. Now, remember how fortune-telling Ghost mentioned that how King Boo could have somehow revived Bowser? The connections here are implying that King Boo wanted to get revenge on Mario for the trouble he caused with the other Boos by first luring him into the mansion filled with ghosts, then revived his now dead arch enemy, Bowser. The evidence doesn't stop after Luigi's Mansion though. If you pay attention, you will see that Bowser's death after Luigi's Mansions are more violent and extreme than before. The previous mentioned Super Mario Galaxy 1 is a good example of this. After his defeat in the final battle, Bowser falls into a star. This should surely burn him to death, and even if he can swim in lava, the gravity should have flattened him. Yet, he appears later on the planet that is getting destroyed. The planet then exploded and turned into a black hole, all with Bowser still stranded on it. It may seem like there is no way Bowser can return from that and other brutal defeats in recent Mario games, but there may actually be one explanation. Just recently I explained how King Boo revived Bowser. Well, even after his apparent defeat by Luigi, at the end of the game, King Boo didn't get completely destroyed in Luigi's Mansion. Why? He is a ghost, and you all know because ghosts are already dead, they can't die. What King Boo did instead is give Bowser some help. He took over his body to possess him and keep him alive, believing Bowser to be the best vessel to find a way to get revenge on Mario and make his life miserable. You know the tales on how ghosts come for revenge and haunt you forever? This is exactly what is happening to Mario. This theory can also explain some other weird things with Bowser in more recent Mario games, such as his sudden shift in a very sinister personality. In most games before Luigi's Mansion, Bowser's plan is mostly to just capture Peach and keep Mario from saving her. In games after Luigi's Mansion, Bowser focuses on trying to really marry Peach, actually killing Mario, and to conquer the Mushroom Kingdom. Sometimes even take it to the another level to conquer the universe, like what you've seen in Super Mario Galaxy. This sudden darker shift proves only further that Bowser is controlled by King Boo. With Bowser now sharing the same sinister personality as King Boo, it would make sense that Bowser's plan would get more extreme as well. And why would this King Boo controlled Bowser still try to marry Peach? Not necessarily because King Boo is in love with Peach, but because he wants to break Mario's heart. This is also why Bowser keeps coming back. No matter how brutal his defeat is, since he is controlled by King Boo, he won't die as he is now part ghost. And of course, the fact that this part ghost Bowser would never truly die only embodies him to have more extreme plans. Now, one may think some source of magic, mainly from Kamek, may be reviving Bowser alive instead. But it's hard to imagine that in this case it's some Bowser's recent deaths. In both Super Mario Galaxy games, Bowser's final defeat is getting sucked into a black hole. And it is hard to imagine anyone going in there just to revive him, lest they be killed too. Only King Boo, a ghost who can't die, can help Bowser somehow find a way to survive still intact. Perhaps he even made another full physical copy of Bowser's body. Something no character has been proven to do in the Mario series other than King Boo at the end of Luigi's Mansion. In some more recent Mario games such as Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo DS, a new form of Bowser with only his bones called Dry Bowser appears. This form appears after Bowser had fallen into a lava following his defeat. It seemingly makes no sense for Bowser to have his skin burnt off by the lava and still function perfectly with only his bones. But this theory can prove sense into this situation. While the lava would damage Bowser's body itself and burnt off all his skin, it wouldn't impact King Boo's possession of the body. This would allow Bowser to function fine with only his bones. In fact, Bowser's carcass is actually not the only body who is possessed after his defeat. Dry bone enemies, which are the remaining of irregular Koopas, are able to still function and to be a threat to Mario despite being dead because regular Boos are possessing them. Since King Boo is more powerful than the other Boos, it would make sense for him to be able to possess the king of all Koopas, Bowser. As a more powerful Boo, King Boo may also have a unique ability to return Bowser's skin later on as well. After Luigi's Mansion, King Boo himself only physically appeared in Mario spin-off games such as Mario Party and Mario Kart, as well as a select few other games such as Super Mario Sunshine and Super Princess Peach. King Boo's appearances in these games may seem to debunk this theory, but pay attention to how King Boo looks in Luigi's Mansion games, and how he looked in any other games. In Luigi's Mansion, King Boo has features unique to all the other Boos such as the glowing eyes, purple tongue, and the crystal crown. The King Boo in the other Mario games does not have any of these features. He more resembles Big Boo in these games instead, just a larger version of a regular Boo, except with the crown on his head. Would this most likely indicate that the King Boo you see in Mario Kart, Mario Party, and other non-Luigi Mansion games is just either a fake or replacement king, while the true King Boo is busy controlling Bowser? In Luigi's Mansion Dark of the Moon, King Boo, likely frustrated from the series of defeat while in possession of Bowser, escaped from Bowser's body and to try to come up with a plan while in this ghost form, perhaps trying to take a different approach than usually in order to achieve success. Bowser doesn't make an appearance in this game at all, which can also be evidence for this theory. It should be noted that King Boo never made it clear that he managed to escape the painting he appeared to be trapped in, and in the end of the first Luigi's Mansion game, in order to make sure Mario couldn't connect him to Bowser. However, he saw Professor Egad's decision to sell the painting in this game as a good opportunity to make it appear as though he escaped the painting after being trapped in it. Despite King Boo's efforts to get revenge on the Mario Bros. And achieve domination by shattering the Dark Moon, Luigi again manages to defeat him in ghost form. King Boo, of course, doesn't really die at the end of the game. He just returns to Bowser's body to think of a next plan. The plot of Super Mario 3D World may provide proof of this theory. In this game, instead of capturing Peach, the King Boo-controlled Bowser instead attempts to kidnap the 7 Spirix princesses. This decision may appear to make no sense to Bowser's perspective, but with the knowledge of this theory, it actually does. The reason is that the Spirix are the only ones that can actually destroy ghosts. This leads to King Boo kidnapping to the princesses instead of Peach, as he identified these princesses to be the true threat to him. Although defeated, King Boo will still be able to escape. Another similar theory to the one explained above the King Boo is actually Bowser's ghost. The theory would have mostly the same concept, except this time there was no true King Boo before Paper Mario. And when Bowser died in Paper Mario, his spirit became King Boo, which was first seen directly afterwards in none other than the next game chronologically, Luigi's Mansion. Therefore, the trouble in the past that King Boo met in Luigi's Mansion would not specifically be the trouble he caused in the Ghost's house, but the trouble he caused him while he was alive trying to capture Peach. King Boo then built and revived his own body, which, with the exception of Luigi's Mansion Dark of the Moon, used to try to get revenge on the Mario Bros. Over and over, but with failure each time. With the fact that dry bones are referred to as dead Koopa Troopas possessed by their own spirits in the form of Boos, it makes sense that Bowser, the king of all Koopa Troopas, would be possessing by his own spirit in the form of King Boo, and Bowser also having a dry bone-like form with Dry Bowser. This could also better explain how Bowser, even after Luigi's Mansion, still showed an infatuation towards Peach, since under this theory, King Boo is the dead form of Bowser. It would make sense that he would still try to marry Peach, and it would also make sense that he take it more seriously and go a step forward with extreme and dangerous plans of world domination. Now that he doesn't need to worry about the fear of death, since he is now, in fact, undead.